Thank you. This next gentleman I'm going to be bringing up, is a gentleman obviously that you guys already heard from in the beginning of this during our challenge party. It's a gentleman that I have been watching in the company. You've probably seen him online. He's an online phenomenon. He's also a phenomenon in the company. And he's one of the top 5, actually the number 1, am I right? Number 1 5-star in all of Visalis. Yeah, that was the number 1 5-star. It means a lot. This says a lot. So without further ado, guys, get to your feet and help me welcome Mr. 5-star Freddy Melero.
How you guys doing? You guys fired up? Yeah. Can hear you. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm excited to be here, as I shared earlier, and I'm going to cover 2 things today. First part is mindset. Question for you guys: if somebody that's been doing this type of, been in this industry for about 16 years and struggled greatly, hit every wall imaginable you guys can imagine, well, I'm sure I've missed some, but hit a lot of walls and gone through a lot of adversity, challenges, and been mentored by some of the top leaders. If somebody like that could give you a piece of their head, would you pay attention for 20, 30 minutes? Yes. I mean, don't you guys wonder, what goes through that guy's mind? How is he able to do that, right? What is it that they think? Well, how is it that they operate? How is it that they adapt to certain things that happen? I mean, if somebody could share a little piece of their mind, would you guys be interested in something like that? Yeah. Somebody in the last 31 months has earned a little, close to $1.5 million. I mean, would you like to know what's going through that guy's head? Yeah. Well, guys, like I said, next 20, 30 minutes, I'll share with you a little bit about that. And, it's one of my favorite things to talk about because I think the biggest challenge you have in your life is yourself. I'm a firm believer you're the only problem you'll ever have. You're also the only solution. It takes a while for some people to understand that. It took me years. I think it's still in the crazy Cuban from Miami. I don't know. It took me a while. I was a hardhead. I went through all kinds of stuff. Ego, arrogance, and pride really did a number on me when I was younger. Right? Big time. So, little backstory on me. Born and raised in Miami, like I shared with you guys. Nothing. Out of high school, I went to college. This thing working? Did I press the wrong button? Go to the other side. How do you do it? I go into college, and I come from an entrepreneurial family. My parents came from Cuba in the '60s after everything was taken away from them, came to start a new life and whatnot. And so my family entrepreneurial. I grew up in the car business, and as a result of how good that experience was, I decided I never want to be part of it. But I didn't know what I was going to do. So I went to college, and I'm like, what do I do? And in the college years, you're into partying. And so you start going to clubs and realize there was a gentleman that was doing very well doing that. And I didn't even know that was a business. And, became friends with him, eventually started helping a lot, eventually started becoming my own promoter. And for a while, I was, one of the kings of South Beach and promoting nightclubs. So as you can imagine, I had a lot of fun when I was young. And so I had to make a decision. And at the time, there's a lot of great, got a great opportunity. I mean, we live in the land of opportunity. I mean, America's still the land of opportunity, right? You don't have people swimming into their countries, right? They're swimming over here, right? Taking rafts instead of here. So I share it with you because I'm decided what I do. I'm young, I'm successful, I'm confident. At the time, real estate was a good thing in Miami and most of North America. This was in the late 90s, or mid to late 90s. And franchising was an option. I mean, I had capital, or it was something that I thought of. When I realized what it was, I was going to buy myself my own job, right? And then network marketing was shared with me. And I share this with you because at the time when they shared this with me, I moved people in Miami. I got people to clubs. I got people, as a promoter, I moved people. So when they share this with me, it was a telecommunications company. The gentleman that shared with me, a friend of mine, he told me, man, the number one guy, he's making $1 million a month. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I go, get me a picture. I want to see that guy. So he shows me a picture, guy from Kentucky, and I'm like, I'm young, cocky. I'm like, if that guy can do it, wait till I get into this company, So I came in with that mindset, and I share it with you because it was not the right mindset. I had a different conception of network marketing, and what we're doing here, guys. A lot of people confuse it with sales. This is not sales. Yes, people have to buy something, but we're not selling, we're not salespeople. What we're doing is we're building a volunteer army of people that want to do things for their reasons, not yours and mine. That little concept, that was foreign to me for years. I struggled for years because I didn't get that. And at the end of the day, what it meant was that if I was going to build this, I had to share it in a way where people could do what I was doing. Instead of anybody that sat in front of me was going to sign up because I know how to close them. And then when they left my presence, they were not going to do what I did because they were not going to be that way with their friends, family, or people that they ran across on the street because they were like, you know, I'm not like that guy, I don't want to be like that guy, but I bought from him so he wouldn't mess with me anymore. So he wouldn't drive me nuts, right? And, you know, so I was that person that would win all these enrollment contests, show up to convention by myself. You know, I didn't have a big team or anything like that because I was selling people. Right? And I just had a different perception of this. I would burn bridges, I would send people, you know, where? What do you mean you're not going to do it with me? Are you crazy? I had the wrong attitude. I'm a firm believer, and I'll go through the training. In this business, network marketing, specifically Visalis, you know, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. What we do here is we share the challenge with people, utilizing tools, and we let them decide what's best for them at the moment. Whether it's nothing, the challenge, or promoting the challenge, right? You guys with me?
Yeah.
So that took me years to understand. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about some of the things that I learned. You know, mindset was one of the first things that was tough. I was always a positive person, but when you get beat down quite a bit and things don't go well, all of a sudden you forget about that, right? You forget about smiling, being positive, thinking positive, turning off the television, not watching the news, right? And so, you know, one thing that stood out one day, the gentleman that shared this with me, and he said, if you continue to think the way you've thought, you'll continue to do the things you've done. Feel the way you felt. If you continue to feel the way you felt, you'll continue to do the things you've done. If you continue to do the things you've done, you'll continue to get the things you've got. Got it?
Yep.
Your thoughts, guys, lead to how you feel about something, and as a result of that, you act on that, and then you get relevant results. So is what you think, what you read, what goes through your mind important?
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially in this business. Especially in the business, okay? And I'll talk a little bit about that because I was not the positive reader person or book reader or anything like that. And, you know, it wasn't until I had another, you know, we go through several crises in our life that I had hit rock bottom, not the way I did a couple years ago. And I met a gentleman. There was a gentleman that was, he was the president of Jim Rohn Enterprises for many years. I told him what I was going through, and you know, he basically told me, Freddie, you know, there's an audio called Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret. You gotta get it. And don't only get it, listen to it till the CD cracks over and over and over again, till you get it. And when I did that, when he told me that, I go, so what else do I gotta do? He's like, well, he's got an audio program called Lead the Field. Do the same thing to that. I'm like, okay, what else do I do? He's like, there's Jim Rohn, Challenge to Succeed, same thing. Over and over and over again. And guys, you know, since then, I've built a pretty extensive library, not only books, now everything's, you know, more audio, right, MP3s and stuff. I mean, I have in another section there a bunch of audio books that programs that I spent $300, $200 some dollars through time, right? Anything that was relevant, anything that I heard, anybody that I saw somebody was having success, what are you listening to? What are you doing? And you know, the quote that says, from Jim Rohn, it says, a millionaire tells 1,000 people, I read this book and it started me on the road to wealth. Guess how many people go out and get the book? Very few. Isn't that incredible? Why wouldn't everyone get the book? I wouldn't sign up for that class. It's a mystery of life, right? I can tell you, you know, it's one of those things, you hear the saying, when the student is ready, the master will appear, right? When you're ready, this will make sense. I'll tell you, there's 3 audios that if you listen to nothing, if you want to build this business and have the right mindset, which I think is very important, more than skill set, mindset. Number 1, Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret, something that you can basically Google, and Mark Victor Hansen has a free MP3 that you can get down. I listen to that over and over. It's just unbelievable. Anybody want to know what the Strangest Secret is?
Yeah.
Nobody? Okay, I won't tell you. Anybody?
Yeah.
You become what you think about. If I were to go back to the previous slide, does that validate that? The audio sold over 1 million copies back in the, like 30, 40 years ago. It was the best-selling audio of all time, single. So it's definitely very powerful. So let's talk about a few things that I have learned along the way. So I used to be the type of person, what's your name? Billy? I used to be the type of person that meet Billy and I go, Billy, what do you do? Oh my God, have you heard about this company, the challenge? Oh my God, I got this thing, and I puke on someone. Anybody know somebody like that? You gotta hear about the challenge. Who likes to get puked on? Anybody? Just me? Yeah. You know, when people do business, guys, at the end of the day, with people they know, like, and trust. And at the end of the day, people do not care how much you know till they know how much you care. I tell people all the time, connect with people first. Get to know someone. Ask them what they do. What do you do? What do you do, Billy? Wow, how long have you been there? 8 years? What attracted you to the military? At the time that you signed up? Recruiter? Okay, awesome. Good job. Was it Jordan back there? No. So, get to know someone. How do you get to know someone? You ask them questions. Who do people like to talk about the most? Everyone's tuned into a radio, remember this, they're tuned into a radio station called WIFM. What's in it for me, right? And at the end of the day, people have to hear about themselves. So when you're talking to people, in order to get their attention, get them talking, and number two, find out about them before you can tell them anything about what you have, right? How can I tell them about something if I don't know where he's at in life? How can I tell him if you want to make, I need to know about him. You guys with me?
Yes.
Next thing I learned, guys, 16 years, and I struggled a lot. I just shared a little bit of the story. This is a leadership business, what we're doing here, guys. And people do as you do, not as you. So if you want people going to events, where do you have to be? If you want people enrolling people, what do you have to do? If you want people breaking directors, what do you have to do? If you want people on the challenge, what do you have to be on? Get it? When you stop doing any of those things, don't expect anyone in your team to do it. I've been with Visalis 31 months promoting the challenge, been a little bit longer, but 31 months promoting the challenge. I've enrolled between my wife and my spot about 144 people since I got started.
Yeah.
Now some people are like, oh, that's a lot of people. Guys, it averages out to 1 a week. 1 a week. If you talk to 10, 15 people, do you think maybe one person will sign up? Yep. So my question to you, are you talking personally to 10 or 15 new people and sharing the challenge with them? And you don't have to answer that. It's just, if you talk to people, guys, people are interested. This challenge message, guys, it creates career challenge. What's that about? And I'll talk about the challenge in the second, the other part of the training, but when we share how to run the play. But I'll tell you guys, we have something that creates curiosity. And a lot of people are open to it, right? I don't have to sell anybody on obesity. People know, everybody knows there is a challenge, right? I don't have to do that. So we have something that creates curiosity, and that's why we get a lot of interest there. So everybody with me?
Yes.
I'm going to talk about the system later, but people do as you do, not as you say. You guys want a good example so you never forget it?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So everybody get your hand, get your 2 fingers, put it on your forehead, up here. Lower it to your cheek. More than half of the people brought it down here. People do as you do, not as you say. I said cheek, a lot of people went down here. Most people. I know some of you guys are smarter, maybe you say. But most people do as you do, not as you say. You guys with me? So everything you want people to do, you've got to do it. Got it. What else do we have here? Keep it simple. I'm going to talk about the system, and when you guys understand how I share this, you'll be like, and he makes how much? Are you serious? Simplicity is the key to this business. Like I said, it's a volunteer army you're building. People do as you do, not as you say, and at the end of the day, if they don't like what you're doing, because it's too complex or they got to learn too much or whatever, they will not do it. So I learned early on, I struggled for many years. I could enroll like crazy, but I never had duplication. My breakthrough was, I met a gentleman that's one of my mentors that was earning about 6 figures a month. And I had struggled for years. I would make money, but not, what we all one day dream of, and not for the effort I was putting forth compared to other people I was hearing not putting the same effort I was. And I sit down with this guy and I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, I've been going at this for a couple of years and I'm not having that type of success. I'm not having duplication, right? I go, what are you doing that I'm not, you know? And when I told him what I was doing, he goes, Freddie, you know, there's no doubt you're very passionate. You know, anybody that's around you, I mean, you're enthusiastic, they're gonna connect with you. And at the end of the day, if you want somebody to sign up, you're probably gonna ask them for it, they're gonna do it because you make a good connection. The challenge is, people are not like you. You're not duplicatable. You know, not everybody wants to be like you or has that energy or whatever. However, if you were to change it a slight bit, and basically when you're talking to someone, instead of explaining what it is, say, you know, instead of explaining what it is, point to a tool, meaning, if your mouth is moving, it should be with the intention of pointing someone to a tool that explains what you want them to hear, instead of you explaining. And then you ask them a question and get them on the phone with somebody else, or point them to another tool that explains what they really want to know, right? If you do that, everybody can point to tools. So bottom line, he told me, Freddie, utilize tools, don't be a tool. Anybody hear a tool? Don't be a tool, right? We are messengers, not the message. And sometimes we try to be the message, guys. We're the messengers. And so if your mouth is moving, you want to point to a tool. Everybody with me? Yeah. This took me years, and when I learned this, guys, I started breaking six-figure earners in my team. I started having duplication. I was like, oh! Guys, this was something that I heard for years. The same thing this guy told me, I just wasn't ready for it. I was just like, nah, my way's better. Oh my God, I'm just gonna figure it out. It's just numbers. Eventually I'll get there, right? No! And it was very simple. I struggled because I was a hardhead. Typical male, right? It just, you know, I'm the type of person that buys something, doesn't read the instructions, just figures out, maybe I should read this, right? Guys, this is a very simple business, is what I'm trying to say. So, some people are related to that. Right, cool. Some boys were like, yeah, easy. What else? You know, we're building a volunteer army, and that means we deal with human beings. You guys know that? We deal with human beings? And like I said, people do things for their reasons, not yours and mine. With that said, you will talk to people that will give you a negative opinion. Anybody have one of those? About something? Oh my God, we got into, right? You can't let that bother you. You'll have people that will join you and quit. Anybody have that happen yet? You have people that actually build something and quit. You have people that will build and have a health challenge or have a crisis in their life. That's called life, guys, right? You know, one of my favorite authors, and I brought the book, Andy Andrews, he's got a book called The Traveler's Gift. And within the amazing nuggets he has in that book, which I recommend, by the way, everybody get it. Andy Andrews, millionaire. Okay, cool. So Andy Andrews in that book says, crisis. You're either in crisis, coming out of crisis, or get ready, it's coming. That's life, guys. It's a cycle. Things happen all the time. That's life. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do in spite of it. Everybody with me? Yeah. It's not what happens to you, because what happens to one happens to all. Jim Rohn says it's a set of the sail, right? It's not the wind, it's a set of your sail. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do in spite of it. And I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, all that matters is where are you going. It's choice. So I share this with you to understand that you've got to be emotionally detached. That means if these things happen, you don't let it bother you. You don't go, oh, I can't do this. Yes, I understand that you might have put some time into it, whatever, but guys, people join gyms, pay $500, and they never even go once. People get married, spend millions of dollars, and 2 weeks later, divorce. It's not Visalis, it's not you, it's the people, but it's people. It's human. That's gonna happen. So you take the emotion. This took me a while, guys. I used to be knocked out for like a week or two. If somebody, I wouldn't talk to anybody else. And I realized, why am I wasting my, why am I getting that? That's so stupid, right? It's gonna happen, accept it, just move in spite of it. That's why it's important to always be sharing the message and bringing new people and leading by example. You guys with me? Because if you're bringing new people, if you're sharing it with new people, all of a sudden this guy goes, oh, and it's not that you don't care for the person, but it doesn't affect you. Because you've got other people that are excited, fired up, and you know, well, this person will probably come around, right? You know, in this business, I've learned that you can't motivate someone to do something. In the sense that, you know, I can motivate you and today he's fired up, but tomorrow he's back in the same boat, right? I mean, Jim Rohn talks about, you know, if you got an idiot and you motivate him, you got to motivate an idiot, right? I mean, so it's not motivation. It's not motivation. It's timing. And not for you. Me. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, everybody, you know, It's timing, you know? Things happen in people's lives, and some people come and go. And because you have a goal and you want to go somewhere, you know, you pray for them, you love them, and you make it happen in spite of, you keep on going. The best thing you can do for someone that kind of lets go is to make it happen in spite of them, because you inspire them by making it happen in spite of them. When I'm building this business, you know, I'm trying to find that new person, because I want my team to go, this kid doesn't stop. It's true about the sneaker thing. He's still growing. He's running away from as far away from broke as possible. Look at this guy, right? I inspire my team, and I notice because they tell me all the time, because I keep going. And I'll go into my why, but I keep going. And so all of a sudden they're like, all right. Versus being under a coconut tree, drinking some coconut water, right, in the beach, and just disconnecting. And everybody's like, well, he made it. You know, I guess the opportunity doesn't work anymore, so I'm not gonna share this with anybody else, right? The opposite, right? So, guys, be emotionally detached. Some will, some won't. So what? Next, others are waiting. I will tell you, in 31 months, when I got started, because I had done a couple different deals, because a couple people had done things with me, people love me, but they're like, what's Freddy doing now? And I can tell you, because I moved in spite of them, they joined me 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later. But they would have never joined me had I kept on going in spite of them. You have no control over anyone else. It's hard enough to control yourself. So why even go there and let that bother you? Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody released something today, because that took me years to figure it out, and I firmly believe I'm here today because I learned that aspect of it. Golden rule, do unto others. If you help enough other people get what they want, you automatically get what? Forget about you. Find those that want it, that are ready, willing, and able to take action when? Now. And help them get what they want. In the process, you're taken care of. You know, what's neat about Visalis is, you know, our program is 3 for free, stars and cars, right? Yeah. Help people get free product, help people get to the first pin rank and make their money back. And if you help enough people get that, just that, you can do whatever you want to become. If you master those two things, which you must with the urgency, and I'll talk about that second part, you write your own ticket. Why? Because a new person that comes in that has free product and gets their money back in that first week, what do they think? What do you think they're thinking? Oh my God, this car's possible. Because the small victories make the bigger victories possible. And if they did it in their first week, they're like, oh my God, this is simple. I can do this again and again, right? In their mindset, they're like, if I did it, it's possible. So I share that with you because, guys, this business, it's a servant-driven leadership model business. Meaning, you know, you can't rise to the top and sustain it if you don't help other people get there. Right? When somebody comes on stage and they haven't built a solid foundation, it crumbles and falls, right? And that's not just Visalis, that's anywhere, right? So the more people you help here, in the process, you will advance. Focus on identifying people that want it, help them get there. People that want it, that are teachable and coachable, and are willing to take action. And you'll get there. And I'll tell you, the mindset here, guys, is we have a golden ticket. We have a life-changing challenge message that's changing a lot of lives from a health perspective and financially. It works, flat out works. It's just who else is looking for what we have that doesn't know about it yet, and let's share it with them. Who else hasn't seen it yet, doesn't understand it, let's share it with them. That should be your mindset. It's a sharing message, okay? I kind of shared this a little bit. You know, our job, guys, is not, like I said, not to convince people. Hey, let me ask you a question. What's your name? Nate. Nate? So if I bring Nate into the business, and I coerced him to come in, I mean, I did the and he's in. But he didn't want to do it. But he did it because I did the right? Whatever that is, whatever that pitch is for you guys. If I did that to get him in, now I have to do the same thing to get him to watch the GST video, make me the list, let's call some people, let's that's not the business I signed up for. I don't know about you guys. I want Nate to be the person that says, dude, I'm ready, I'm sick, you know, he might even be in a good position financially, so it's not because he has to get out of it, he just wants to change lives. He wants to do it now. What do I gotta do? Freddie, let's go. Freddie, what do I have to do next? I want to work with that energy. And I'm not saying that if at this moment he doesn't have that energy, that he's not the right person. He can change. Things change, right? Circumstances change, whatever. I planted the seed, I'm moving forward, but I want to work with people that want to work with me. And guys, there's people out there. The challenge is, we have a list of 5 people, and if those 5 people come in, Hawaii's mine, California's mine, Texas, right? I mean, we all know these 5 magical people. They sign up, oh my God. And so what you do is every week you start massaging them and calling them, and then your upline calls you and says, hey, how's it going? And you're like, man, when this person comes, they're about to come in, I talked to them again today, I sent them a text, they replied. And guys, this is not about 5 magical people. This is about looking for people that are hungry, that want it. You know, I get more inspired when a stay-at-home mom that's hungry comes to the table than some, successful business person. Because the person that's hungry is willing to do something. They have a why. They have a why, and they're willing to act. The other people are too cool. Oh, I'm too cool for that stuff, right? I can't do that, right? So our job, guys, is to find people that want it. And how do you find people that want it? You guys want to know?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the second part. Bottom line, guys, this is a business of action. Nothing happens unless we do. And I'm a firm believer that when your heart's in the right place, when you're sharing a message with people, like what we have, that's changing and impacting lives, tens of thousands, it's proven. It's not like, let's see, maybe someday, one day. And it's not something that's happening in the States and not in Hawaii, because you guys saw some stories here. You guys with me? It's happening here too. So when you have something like this, guys, you've got to take action. You've got to take action. Urgent action. You've got to take action, though. Because nothing happens unless you do. Nothing. I'm a big believer. I'm all into prayer. But if you don't act, right? I tell people all the time, don't ask God to guide your footsteps unless you're willing to move your feet. Serious. Guys, you've got to move. And I'm a firm believer that when your heart's in the right place, your intention, the intent of what you're doing is good. Always, always, always the right people come into place. Always. Why? Because as you're going out there, guys, people just come out. And all of a sudden, you don't know anybody, but by asking, by connecting, your heart's in the right place, you're sure, the right people start coming into place. And then you become lucky. Anybody ever heard lucky? That person's lucky. And you know what lucky is? Being prepared when your opportunity comes. This is your opportunity, guys. And we're preparing you today. I'm going to leave you with this before I bring in one of your other superstars. There's a book by, I don't know if you guys have been noticing, I've been throwing some books here and authors. There's a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Powerful, powerful little book. In there he has a quote that I refresh my mind whenever I hit a wall. I'm human too. I have days like that. I just know how to respond to it quick. I identify it and I snap out of it. I don't watch the news. I hang out with negative family members. I kiss them, hug them, and run. I pick my associations very wisely because, guys, this business is all mindset. And if you allow yourself to think negative and doom and gloom, you're toast, right? We're here to empower and inspire. You can't empower and inspire. We're like, ugh, right? So he has this quote here that is extremely powerful. I'm sorry if I'm blocking you. He says, I will act now, I will act now, I will act now. Henceforth, I will repeat these words each hour, each day, every day, until the words become as much a habit as my breathing. And the action which follows becomes as instinctive as the blinking of my eyelids. With these words, I can condition my mind to perform every action necessary for my success. I will act now. I will repeat these words again and again and again. I will walk where failures fear to walk. I will work when failures seek rest. I will act now, for now is all I have. Tomorrow is a day reserved for the labor of the lazy. I am not lazy. Tomorrow is a day when the failure will succeed. I am not a failure. I will act now. Success will not wait. If I delay, success will become wet to another and lost to me forever. This is a time, this is a place, I am the person. I got chills, I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
What's a common theme here? Acting, guys. Acting, taking action. Nothing happens in this world unless we do, guys. It's nice to say, okay, maybe it'll come out. I'm telling you, you create that by going out. I'm here today because I went out. I stepped out in spite of 2 years of negative. I watch the news every day. I saw everything that you're not supposed to do. I hung out with people that are like, dude, this economy's horrible. Yeah, man. We're losing our house. And, we can't even get refinanced. And I'm about to lose my job. And, my daughter can't. I was around that environment and bought into all those stories. And just, instead of stifling that, I was participating in all that. And I failed and failed and failed, and I was frustrated and didn't sleep at nights and had those things in my mouth. And you know, all those things that you do, that you have when you go through a lot of that. One thing I had in common during all that time was my mindset just went in the, you know what? I bought into what everybody else bought into, guys. It's mindset, guys. You have the right opportunity at the right time, guys. Hawaii is one of those markets that not only can you build it here big, but it leads to other markets. How many here are not from Hawaii? Raise your hands. Originally. Look at that. So chances are you might sign somebody up here that has somebody family in New York, in Chicago, New York, in Puerto Rico, in Canada. All of a sudden you got a business that's, you know, all over the place. I will act now, guys. This is all I'll leave you with for this part, guys. You know, I'm living proof that it's possible for anybody that really wants it, guys. All the information we need, you know, mindset-wise, just it's out there. We're sharing almost everything today. You're gonna hear from some other leaders right now. It's there, guys. It's what will you do in spite of that. I forgot who it was that was up here that was saying, you know, learn as you go. And this is a business that's very simple, and I'll show you the play after this. But it's all about taking action. And in the process, guys, it's such a simple business that you'll pick up stuff. If you understand the simplicity of sharing the message, you know, all you have to do is just share. If you understand, if you take the mindset challenge of being emotionally attached to everybody saying no, yes, no, I don't care if somebody tells me no, maybes kill me. Yeses are great, but I don't want to hear maybe. Right? So my mindset, I just want to get closure. I just want to move on. And if somebody tells me no, and I'll share this later, I'll just ask, hey, who do you know that might be open to this, right? I'll ask for a referral, and I'll move on. Guys, this business is all about sharing. And I'm telling you, there's people out there praying for what we have. They don't know it exists. Your job is to act, to share. You guys fired up?
Yeah.
Anybody learn something? Yeah? Love it? Awesome. Well, guys,